Well, Marion, before we go on the air, I bet people are wondering where have they been for the last 2 Fridays. We've been turning in to the radio station, and the music, Listen Here by Eddie Harris, been playing, and whatever else. And people thought, oh my goodness, where have they gone? I bet. Well, this is live. Here. And it is the 22nd. We did tell folks.
We told folks that we would go for the next 2 weekends. We would be out of town.
And we were. Ooh, Lord, I'm so tired of traveling.
I don't know what to do. From it.
I tell you, we have to tell them the story about the train. The name of the story is The Train That Was Missed. This is November 22nd, and I'm going to take you back to November 22nd, 1963. November 22nd.
1963. What happened, Maureen? I can't remember my name.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy was shot and killed.
Oh, it sure was.
I never forget that date. No, 11/22. And as far as I can tell, they're still looking for who killed John F. Kennedy. Today I heard they were still looking for who killed Hoffa. There's a long list of folks that they're trying to look at, But tonight, they say we digress. This is a live program this evening, and if it's repeated, we want folks to know this is Friday night, November the 11th, 2019, just a couple of minutes past 7 o'clock in the evening. And Marion and I have returned from multiple trips. We are back and so glad to be here this evening, sitting down in a chair that's not attached to a plane, a train, or a bus. My name is Maureen Taylor. I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Program and organization. And I'd like to invite you all to make calls in to ask Welfare Rights, but you need an official welcome. And so Marion is going to give you an official welcome and tell you how glad we are to be sitting still. Marion, go ahead.
Are we?
Yeah.
Good evening. It is so good to be back in this chair. We have had quite a adventure. But I want to remind you, let's get this out of the way. You're listening to WHPR TV 33. And if you are listening to us on the computer or what have you, you can get us at the website is www.tv33whpr.com. And we hope that you would call in and participate because there's a lot of stuff going on. All these houses that they claim they're going to do something with, they've been claiming that for how long? And
always and forever. That's how long.
And you can call us on 313-868-0342 or 868-0351 and 868-4336. If you cannot see us, you can
hear us.
All right.
All right, so you call in those numbers and we'll be here.
Yeah, Maureen, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So, first thing is, you have that paper I gave you on, I didn't bring mine. I want to make real quick at the top of the program. In Highland Park, at the water department, I was able to pick up some leaflets about the RAP program. and that a person could qualify to up to $500. And that it will start next month. You should call up there and find out. Go get a leaflet. It's right there on the desk there
At the water
at
department?
the water department. And make sure, don't tell me, well, I'm not eligible. Well, you don't know if you're eligible for the program. That will at least be paid towards your water bill. So make sure you go in there and find out when the program is going to be implemented. It's going to be the beginning of December. And you should be, if you're having problems, if your water is off or what have you, if your water is off, you need to at least get in touch with City Hall and let them know what is happening, and stop running around thinking that all of a sudden your water going to amazingly to come back on, but you haven't done nothing.
But you know, with the water being off now, that's one of the new rules. If your water's off, you
Yeah.
can still get help with
Yes.
from the rep department. So
Yes, right.
You're right. You know, you sit at your house, it's going to stay just what stay the
You gonna
same,
miss out.
You know?
That you
Yes.
gonna miss out, and
We'll
and then
see.
you let the welfare department know about that, or your neighbors let them know your children are gonna be taken away. So get
Or
on
maybe.
maybe right,
Yeah.
but you can always get in touch with me through Michigan Welfare Rights. They know where I am all the time. And that's at
964.
yeah 964-0618 964-0618. Excuse me.
And bless you.
And I know some of you are in touch with Linda Wheeler and Pat Harris and all the rest. We're not round here playing around. You need to get your house in order as long as they got that money there. Because if so, it's going to be given to someone else. Okay.
All right, so now the number for RAP is area code 313-386-9727.
Okay.
The RAP number 313-386-9727. So folks can call as soon as we get off the air tonight, Marion,
Yeah.
and listen to the tape message 2 or 3 times so that you'll know what you need to do to qualify for help for RAP.
And well,
You
you
know?
can remember the name if you didn't write it down, and I hope you did. If you didn't write it down, just think about a wrap around your head or something like that. This the name of the program.
Okay. All right, Marion, we were in New York at the invitation of some of the folks from PEP and whoever else.
Some of our old friends.
And ask us to come and discuss and describe the nature of this water fight. And one of the things I learned while I was there was a presentation made from a young lady from Denmark, Mississippi. And I was fascinated by the name. Somebody from Denmark went to Mississippi and named that city Denmark. And the message that she brought to those that were there is the water for the city of Denmark was full of lead.
Yep.
And it just keeps popping up everywhere. It's lead here, lead there. What's the point? Lead everywhere. And to listen to her, Mississippi is quite a ways from Detroit, quite a ways from Michigan. And lead in the pipes is clearly a national crisis. Every part of the country. And she lives in a rural area.
Yeah.
And here's lead there. She talked about what it's doing to the crops, what it's doing to the people and whatnot. And I thought it would be important to mention that even folks as far away from us as Mississippi, down near the Delta area and whatnot, they're still faced with lead in the water. How sad that was.
It is very sad, Maureen, because it's not just Mississippi. That old Mississippi go through Baton Rouge, up to St. Louis, and all type of places.
Yeah.
And if it's lead in the water, and we tell y'all this all the time, if it's one house on your street that water is shut off, watch out. The possibility of lead in all the houses.
Different kinds of infections.
And
yeah.
so, you stop thinking that the Lord gave you a brain to use, we would hope that you would begin to use it and begin to take a stand. Mississippi is a huge basin of water,
Yeah.
and everywhere we go, that song, everywhere we go, we running into people in different areas that are having problem with their water.
Urban and rural.
And what's connected
Both.
to those? And we're going to bring some people sooner or later on here on to talk about this whole question of the connection of this fracking to even the water. Everywhere we go, they're talking about their water has changed. Like I told you, when I
Everywhere.
grew up in Louisiana, the water was so good
Yeah.
that we could take a bar of soap and put up under the water, and you had a bubble bath.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Yeah.
You try to
many
put
chemicals.
too many chemicals, and you put that up on it, and you probably get some oil. But it's terrible, and we're not playing with you. You can sit back and listen to that junk about that crazy man in D.C. But that
we about to
crazy,
talk about him.
that man is working for the benefit
He got clean water.
of the capitalists, not us.
Yeah, he got clean
He got
water.
real clean water, not us.
So I thought we'd say something about the number 45 impeachment inquiry. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been exposed to, I think there have been 12 witnesses, starting from people that suspected something, then it went to people that heard something, and then it went to people that knew something. And, I was talking to Russell just before I left the house. And I can think back, Marion, when you and I were having conversations, we talking 2015, 2016. And when number 45 mocked the disabled man, and I thought, oh, he can't, he not going no further. Ain't nobody going to let nobody work running for the highest seat in the land mock a disabled man. That ain't going to work. I was wrong. And then the next thing was all the stories that came out about number 45 being sued because he wouldn't let people of color move into his apartment buildings. And I thought, oh, ain't nobody going to go and vote for no guy like that. I was wrong again. And then here comes number 45 on the bus. And he's talking about I can grab women by their private parts and they'll let you and they won't say nothing.
It was terrible.
And I thought, okay, that's it. He's done for now. I was wrong then. Then during the campaign conversations, he said about John McCain, who was a Republican like him. He said, I prefer war heroes that didn't get captured. So I thought that is it. Nobody's going to take him for a highest seat in the land after saying that kind of mess. Then the Gold Star family, where the husband and wife lost their only son. And the president asked the dad, well, what side did he fight on? I was horrified, oh my God, what kind of,
out of that man's mouth.
and I was wrong again. So I stopped predicting what I thought people would do because all of those events, here we come with Hispanics and Latinos, rapists and murderers, and putting children in concentration camps and all this kind of stuff. And here we are 3 years later, and we've got these 12 witnesses that talked about what they saw. But, Marion, I guess I'm still naive.
You are.
When the president, they taped the phone call, and the president said, what's the problem here? It was a perfect phone call. When he contacted the president, Zelensky, the new president of the Ukraine, and said, congratulations on your victory, but, oh, by the way, I need you to do me a favor. And the new president said, well, what's that? I want you all in the Ukraine, a different nation, to launch an investigation against my strongest political rival. And I want you all to do it. And I thought right away, my naivete said, oh, that's it. And I thought, no, let me take that back. you can't call another nation and say, look, I'm running for mayor against Marion, and I'm going to call Germany and ask them to dig up some dirt on Marion.
Yeah.
That's treason. You can't do that. And so for the last 2 weeks, all these other things that have been going on and all these other conversations and eyewitness and ear witnesses and truth telling and fact telling and whatnot. And now we're at the end of those 2 weeks, and the Democratic Party now has got to caucus and determine whether or not they think they should now prepare articles of impeachment based off of what they've learned for the last 2 weeks. And the only thing I could say is what was drowned out, so many things were drowned out in these last 2 weeks, was the latest Democratic candidate forum, which was Wednesday of this week. And I turned it on and watched a couple of things, and I thought, how sad. We got 10 people on the stage from the Democratic Party, 2 more that might still be trying to throw their name in the race.
Oh, he did.
Blumenberg, the billionaire, and Duvall from the ex-mayor or governor, whatever he is, from Massachusetts. And they can't seem to mount a campaign about affordable housing and
That's
about
interesting.
health care and about transportation for everyone and about affordable insurance. How about that? Kicking some of the major insurance companies out of business. We can't seem to get it right, Marion. So we got all these gears turning and twisting and turning and twisting, and we can't seem to get anything right for the majority of the people in the country. So I wanted to say
Couple of
something
things.
about that number 45 and the impeachment stuff.
A couple of things. Just as you said that, no housing, no peace, it is time to reestablish the National Union of the Homeless. I was talking about that last week.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to do that here in Michigan and hook up with the homeless union in California, in New York, and throughout, because they are organizing again.
Good.
And
That's what's going to take.
and do what we do best, and that is take it to the masses. Maureen, there was something else in here. I forgot where it was. Well, I'll have to find it. Oh, Bob Brown. You going to speak to that?
Yeah. Well, another local issue that came up, Marion, was this officer, Officer McLean. And it looks like he was pretty popular. Some of the folks that I work with knew him. And you could see folks were really hurt at this. And, you know, just kind of unpeeling, unraveling the whole thing. You know, this was a domestic violence call. And I can recall, and I think you and I have spoken on this, when these domestic calls come in,
There's a lot of them.
it's a lot of them, but they seem to be the ones that are the most violent.
Yes,
and,
they are.
and, you know, the possibility of somebody being hurt. And I heard it said today, and I thought it was a good idea. Maybe from now on, maybe we should mention that to the police chief. If there's a call about a domestic violence situation, it might be best to send the robots in and let the robots take a look around and see what's going on, so we don't have to send people into these kinds of places, because it looks like we got a very fine police officer based off of what I've been hearing, and a 28-year-old man that's been in and out of jail since he was 14 or 15 or 16, and apparently what I've been told, and I wish you commented on what you hear, that I know he already had shot the house up where this killing took place.
Yeah.
One officer killed and the other officer wounded, and hopefully he won't lose his foot, you know. But shot the house up looking for an old girlfriend. So this was a kid prone to violence.
Yes,
And
he was.
apparently he had some other run-ins, and what I'm told is that there are multiple warrants that had been already put out for his arrest for being a suspect in some other killings on the east side.
That was not
Let's sit
carried
up
through.
here.
That were not, those warrants were not carried through by the police department.
I'm told that the police were looking for him.
That what now on the news from what the chief was talking about, they should have gone out and looked for him and try to carry it through, and he's trying to
Launch an investigation.
an investigation around that. But on the other hand, Maureen, when we look at that, these young people don't learn that from us.
No, they don't.
They learn that from what they see. If you got a president in office doing what he want to do, why can't they pick up the gun and do what they want to do? You know, it's criminal what's going on out here. They're killing our kids.
Kids are killing each
And
other.
kids are killing one another, and it goes back to the 70s and stuff like that when a lot of that stuff was going on. You know, here one mother then lost her child, and a wife then lost her husband, and the children, the father, and what have you. And then you have another young man that has lived most of his time in prison.
Yeah. Ain't going back.
And he's not only going back, don't let somebody in that prison find out that they might be related to the people that he done killed.
But what's going to end up happening is
It's
he's
a
going to
shame.
serve more years than he is been alive.
Oh, he's gonna
now.
be
So
in
he's
there.
only 28, and it's so awful. And they didn't, he's been turned into a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Turned into a monster. But I want to take it a step further, Marion. He had a high-powered rifle. That's what he
That
was
is-
using.
Yes.
And that's part of the problem. That a high-powered
High-powered
rifle.
rifle.
One of them AR-15s or something. Horrible kind of thing, and just shots fired. Then already shot up the house and whatnot. It's just, it just makes your heart hurt to hear about the gas station shootings and somebody's at the football party. I heard about that one in Fresno, and family outside, 30, 40 people watching a football game, and somebody comes to the back door, maybe they weren't invited to come to the party, and shot the place up. 3 or 4 dead, 10 or 12 wounded. It's just too much. It's just too much. Caller, you're our first caller we're going to accept for the evening. Thank you for calling, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You're on the air.
Okay, I think I got y'all on my laptop. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Well, y'all know it's a mad world after all. It's already been set up for everybody to fall, to lose their minds, and the violence beget violence, the domino effect from the top to the bottom. That's all you see, feel, and breathe is violence, idiotic buffoonery. All of these are distractions to keep your mind and your brains and your vibrations on the most lowest level possible. So, until you get your mind, to take your mind back, you can stop letting you attract the distractions that's like a curse.
Yes.
It's like a chain on your brain to stay insane, not have any humanity about you, not have any real fight.
No
It's
humanity.
easy to be scared, and it's easy to be violent and buffoonery.
And
all
it's
the
easy.
nonsense.
And it's easy to shut people's water off and you don't say anything. And it's easy to evict folks and nobody will say anything. All of those things become easy in an environment of violence. All of it.
And that's what's causing the violence. They know what they're doing. If I take all your resources to keep you educated, to keep you productive, but they seduce you with all the negativity, and everybody walking around here walking dead, and the only thing they can think to do is something as silly and heinous as kill, rape, and take. Nobody wants to make the life better. They in the game of making it worse for themselves and everybody around them. We just, Lord, we need help, y'all.
Yeah, we need help.
Well, I agree with you. The other thing is this whole question of trafficking. All these young, they're just snatching young women, and some old women too, and you cannot go find them. You can't even find them nowhere.
Children. They are snatching children.
Left and right.
It's body snatching. It's like the outer limits. You look up and they're taking women away from the college students.
College
are
campuses,
disappearing.
Yeah.
Children are dying and disappearing
And the police
in the hospital.
said that it is hard for them to find anyone that has been snatching. Well, you better get some snatching details together and begin to
Just
find
disappearing.
and find out who these people are, because they are leaving a trail or some kind of trail somewhere, you know. And
And the sad thing about the snatching, the body snatching, they starting to label people in the hospital, police, the other agency, Uber. They have all these trails of what they call trafficking, and they're coming in all kind of disguises.
Yes.
And I even think that people better be aware when they start talking about we got these job opportunities and this job, and you walk in there and it's holy hell.
Well,
Holy hell trail.
well, you know, all of these instances of violent behavior and violent retribution and all of these things that are going on, at some point the community, all the community groups, gonna have to put aside whatever arguments and beefs that might exist, and we're
begin
gonna
to
have to
work
come
together.
together, and we're gonna have to put an end to it, and let the police know you've done the best you can, and now we're gonna take over some of this stuff, and we'll call you to pick up people. We don't want to kill folks. We need to get twine, colored twine, from Home Depot and from Lowe's, and we find these folks that are out here committing these acts of violence in our neighborhoods. We'll have to tie them to the tree and have the police just come and get them. You know, so-and-so, little Abuki is over there on the corner of such and such and such and such. And we left a note pinned to him to explain the things that he's been doing. But the community, we just gonna have to come together because we just under siege. Go ahead, Mary.
You know, we understand that people are scared, but when people come together and begin to take care of their community and that type of stuff, that stops gangs and everybody else from coming in there trying to take over. You know, we got to come out of our cocoons and all that, and that fear, and take a stand. You know, I remember when my husband and another person on the street, several people on the street, a lot of women in Highland Park would go out, you know, early in the morning and go catch the bus and go to was going to work, and then a lot of them start showing up. They've been raped, couldn't find them, and everything like that. So General and would get off from work, as well as Mr. Wheeler and Willie and all of them on the street. They get together and make sure they were at that bus stop with those women and walk them home, or either you know, make sure they got on those buses and what have you. We got to get together and show them that, look, we're not going to be scared no more.
New Era's got a new program. I saw it advertised on TV the other day, caller. And they're launching a new program, and right now I can't think of the name of it, but it's something like community safety or something like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Zeke and whoever else that's creating this, and Marion, I don't know if you saw it.
No,
what they've got is they're identifying businesses in the community who will be a place of safety. So if there's a woman, a man, a child who's running or afraid because of suspicious, these people are willing to open up the store and say, you can come in here for safety, and we will call the police for you. And I just saw that 1 or 2 days ago. That's an outstanding program. And it's like a placard that you could put on the business door to tell people, if you feel unsafe, come in here. And I think that's the kind of stuff we're going to have to do. Well, look at that little fella. All right. But I believe we're going to have to go to a community care. Community care, Go ahead,
and
caller.
see if we can get a partnership with threat management also, so that we can learn how to defend ourselves and work as a community to be out there together, so we'll be ready for the surprise attack. Because you don't want to park next to nobody's vans and trucks no more, because you don't know if somebody's going to whip out that truck and grab you.
And that's the first thing.
So you're going to have to be ready, and the last thing you need is fear, because that's another form of slavery.
Caller, you so well versed, as always. Thank you for calling and sharing those thoughts.
Okay.
Grab you a pencil and paper, caller, when you get off the
Okay.
air, because I'm going to give us some information that might be helpful.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
And
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, Marion, tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the CNS Health Center. C like Charlie, N like Nickel, S, I better say N like Nancy, and S like Sam. At 15560, 15560, 15560 Joy Road. It's right there at Joy Road near Greenfield. Right there, it's a great big strip mall. It's only 2 or 3 places in the strip mall. And the CNS Healthcare Clinic just opened up just a few months ago. And they're having their first annual turkey giveaway. So I know a lot of people are calling me and asking me for those elusive birds. Well, folks can go to 15560 tomorrow. They're going to start giving them out at 11 o'clock, but people should be there by 10 if you want one. You have to have picture ID, and what that's for is to make certain that you don't live in Ohio and you don't live in Canada or you don't live someplace else.
You're not trying to sell this out on the street.
Yeah, yeah, good enough. But you need picture ID to show that you're a resident, and that means a resident of Michigan. You could live in Highland Park, Royal Oak, any place else, but that you are a resident, and adults only. So those of you that have 3 or 4 children, you can't put little Bookie in the line, and little Bookie go get a turkey, and little Nene or Shanae, she go get one too. Nope. Adults only, and 1 turkey per family. Now, 15560 Joy Road. Please get on the phone and call your family and friends and tell them that. At 10 o'clock, people should be over there with their cars, and if you don't have a car, a basket, and if you don't have a basket, your bicycle. And if you don't have a bicycle, then you need a very large bag to carry those items, because transportation will not be provided. You have to be there by 10. They're going to give out,
They're
Marion,
all lying.
1,000 turkeys.
Yeah, they announced it on the radio today.
They got a lot. They got a lot. So they're going to give out 1,000 turkeys tomorrow. So if you want one, and if you mentioned that you heard it on the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast, maybe they'll smile at you while they give you that turkey. You ain't getting nothing else. Maybe you just smile at you. So folks who've been asking me and calling the Welfare Rights about turkeys, that's where you need to be tomorrow. That's Saturday. It's a one-time deal. They're not going to give them out till 11, but you should be there at 10. 15560 Joy Road, and pass that around.
And I know in Highland Park for the last few years, if you remember, the UAW have been bringing turkeys over here as well as with us. Well, this year, they can't even get the turkeys. So, you know, there's been a lot of people that have helped us to be able to get this to the people's hands in different areas. So what I'm asking is that maybe we need to get on with the mayor and all that stuff and see who we could get to donate for people to that really need something for the holidays, not just on Turkey Day, but throughout the year, and don't have nothing but one can or something like that at their house.
They got a program like that already.
Yeah, I know they do.
They call it food stamps.
Yeah, yeah.
They call them
But
food
they
stamps.
might not have the food
You know?
stamps, Maureen.
But
so
we're living in a different time,
yeah,
man.
a much
Used to be a
different
whole lot of resources available, but this year is kind of dry. Kind of dry. All right, then, okay.
And
let's-
then the two, y'all
Just a moment,
you didn't
caller.
want to believe us. We've been telling you to look out for this coming for a long time, and
Dry
a lot of
spell.
you said, "Oh, Maureen and Marion don't know what they're talking about." Well, keep believing that.
Caller, you're on the air. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You're on the air.
Okay, they giving away turkeys Wednesday. Let's see, I got the date right here. 62-7 Mile. Holiday giveaway event.
What's
And that's
the address?
Tuesday the 26th. Tuesday the 26th at 10 a.m. Holiday giveaway. Forgotten Harvest, and they're giving away coats, winter coats.
But
And that's 62 7 Mile Road.
Okay, now
and
wait a minute.
that's
What address are you saying?
4203.
What address are you saying?
I'm sorry, 627 Mile.
All right, you talking
Wait a
about
minute.
two numbers, 62.
7 Mile.
Okay, so what's that, west or east 7 Mile? Must be
Now that I
east.
don't know. I was trying to look up the phone number so that they can call. Because I don't know if it's the area, because it's a 48203 zip code.
Okay, so that would be east 7 Mile.
Yeah, it's
All right,
probably
so
the
62
Chaldean.
east 7 Mile, so that's between Woodward and going back toward John R.
Oh, okay.
At what time did you say?
I started at 10 a.m. Tuesday.
10 a.m.
the
Forgotten
26th.
Harvest. Okay. 10
Yeah,
a.m.
it's,
Forgotten Harvest,
yeah.
and that's this Tuesday coming up. So turkeys and coats.
Free winter coats. Yeah.
Okay. Turkeys
thank
and
you.
coats. Thank you so much. Thank you for
If I
sharing
find
that.
the phone number, I'll get it to you. I just can't see it. It's on there. I just can't see it.
Okay, thank you so much. All right.
Okay.
All right. So now
Bye.
that's next Tuesday,
Yeah.
and 2 days
Uh-huh.
before Thanksgiving, and that's good. So, all right, maybe we could try that out. Caller, thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You are on the air.
Yes, good evening.
And good
Yeah,
evening,
good
sir.
evening.
Yeah, first of all, we want to send out our prayers, condolences to the police officer that was killed yesterday, the other day.
Yeah,
Yes.
Keep that family in prayer.
always.
And I'm like Chief Craig. I wonder why that man was out after all the stuff the list of stuff that he recently has done. But I
Yeah.
hope they put him behind for good this time.
Well, looks
Now, I
like
wanna
he's 28 years old, and they suspect that he was involved with 2 or 3 shootings in the last 2-3 weeks.
Right, and nothing done about it now. But you know what? Something else I was going to ask about. First of all, why is Dennis Archer going to lead that Thanksgiving parade? He the one that got us into trouble that we was in before. Who picked him? Who picked him?
Well, it was probably somebody else. You know, these guys and girls, they keep landing visible positions. So, you know, is he
Oh,
the
yeah.
he's involved in the Thanksgiving Day parade?
Yeah, he's supposed to be what they call it, the Grand Master.
The
or
Grand
whatever they call
Master?
it. Yeah. I mean, where'd he come from? Why don't he go home and sit down?
Somebody found him.
Yeah, I was debating whether to call. I said I'm gonna call in because I thought maybe you and Miriam was down at the lighting of the tree, skating down there.
Lighting of the tree.
Any kind of
Yeah.
tree we gonna light, it's gonna be real fire. Ain't gonna be no
Not
bowls. It's gonna be some
And I'm
flames.
skating. Yeah, I'm flicking the station, looking at the Channel 7, looking at them down there. I
Well,
had to call
listen,
in.
I'm for the children having as much fun as they can
Right.
downtown. So I
That's
hope
good.
they enjoy themselves. But no,
I just knew you and Miriam was down there skating. I was looking
He
to see
said,
if I
but we were down there.
no, not this time here.
Okay.
All right,
y'all
Colin.
have a nice
Now,
holiday.
Best thing,
Have a
the
nice
best
holiday.
thing can happen as they light that tree is talk
Yeah.
about the need by Christmas. Everybody in the state of Michigan, where there are homes that could be fixed up for folks, that they're going to give
Right.
them those homes. Now they down
Right.
there celebrating, but at the same time, let's see how many people are homeless.
when they
Right,
leave there. Colin, did you
know,
write
and-
down the address to where the turkeys are being given away so you could tell others?
No, but I've been listening to on the radio where Frankie Darcell is giving some away.
Well, here,
And,
grab you a pencil and write this one down. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock,
11 o'clock.
people can go to 15560 Joy Road.
Sure.
And that's Joy Road in Greenfield at the clinic. And they're going to
Okay.
give away 1,000 turkeys at that location.
Okay.
So please share that information.
Oh, yeah, I like to pass stuff on to people. So y'all have a nice holiday too.
And you as
as
well,
well.
caller. Thank you so much.
Maybe we'll
And
be
if I
able to
think
get
of
some
something else-
barbecue in New Year.
Oh yeah. Oh, y'all ain't forgot that.
No, we don't forget that here.
If I think of something, I'm gonna call you back.
Please do. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, bye.
Thank you very
Probably
much.
he's gonna call us back
Oh.
and tell us where to pick up the barbecue.
Yeah, probably so. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for waiting and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You are on the air.
Okay, the turkey giveaway for Tuesday, the phone number is 248-559-1990.
559 1990. 559 1990. And that's the one that's at 26 East
Tuesday the
7 Mile.
26th at 10 a.m. at 62 7 Mile Road. It's first come, first serve, y'all, and it started at 10 a.m.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay.
much, caller.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so the last thing I wanted to raise, Mary, second from the last thing, is, in a few months it'll be Black History Month. Here comes February again. And I want us to start thinking about and sharing this information. Now, we got a football player, and rightfully so, that has been suspended indefinitely. I saw the fight. And, men out there, this is sport, they out there beating each other with fists. And the one guy snatched the helmet off of the other guy. And folks were still tussling. And the football player took the helmet and hit the other guy on the head with the helmet, swung it and hit him. And this is the person that got hit had already gone through the concussion protocol the week or 2 weeks earlier. We'd already been injured and had to be off of the field for a while because he had suffered a concussion, and he gets hit in the head with a helmet. And so this guy has been suspended indefinitely. And then we got multiple cases of football players that are wife beaters, girlfriend beaters, dog beaters, all kind of things has been going on. We got I remember a couple of them. I can't even think of that guy's name anymore. We killed his girlfriend and put her in the trunk of the car. All kind of little crimes and stuff, and not so little crimes, misdemeanors and felonies. And you got a whole nother group that gets suspended for using substances and drugs and drinking and, all kind of stuff that's going on. Bad behavior, greasing the gloves, all kind of things. And then you got Colin Kaepernick, who said, I'm a good player, but I know I'm going to take this risk, and I'm going to, during the period of time when they play the national anthem, I'm going to take a knee. And my knee is about, and here was his description, Marion. I think the country can do better. We need to stop all these racist attacks, these racially profiled police shootings, all this violence, and we need to do something about it. And he and Eric and some other football players, black and white, Latino, all of them, different looking folks, a couple of owners, all kind of people. I remember Beto O'Rourke used to be in the presidential pool. He took a knee before anybody was noticing that anybody was taking a knee. And then we got Colin Kaepernick, who what? They call him Cap. Last week, he had a playoff, and was trying to show people his skills. He had a workout session, and you could see he's still in good form. He could throw the ball. People were saying, well, he doesn't appear to have the right form. There was nothing wrong with his form. He looked like, better than what we got now.
Yes.
A whole lot of them. And then you think back, he did that. And number 45, Marion, said, I think what he's doing is disrespectful to the Army. What? Well, I think what he's doing is disrespectful to the flag. What?
Please.
And created and recreated a whole nother narrative that was picked up by what Jeffrey Feiger calls old white men who own these basketball and football leagues. And they
billions of
making billions of dollars. And they took that young man's career and put it up on the shelf. And when you ask, what is it that he did after you got these folks that use drugs and they beat their wives and they beat their girlfriends and they beat their pets and all this other kind of stuff, and you ask, what did he do wrong?
Nothing.
And what he did wrong was stand up for the values of what America is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And now, I guess 7, 8, 9, 10 clubs were able to watch him. People are saying, should he come to the Detroit Lions? People have been talking about that. Should he come to the Lions? If Kaepernick comes to the Lions, I'm gonna go buy some football
I go
tickets.
get a ticket.
I'm gonna go buy. He comes, I'm going to go buy some football tickets. That's what I'm gonna do, because that would be a great leap forward. Now, I really was impressed when Nike came out. Was that last year before last, with the statement, and all you could see at first was the camera coming back, and there was somebody walking, and you couldn't tell who it was walking away, and turned around, and it said something like, being different is also being powerful. And then he turned around, and it was Cap.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fabulous. I went out and got me an ink pen and piece of paper and drew me a Nike swish. I thought it was great. But how much money Nike, always the corporate group, how many millions they were able to get, because people were buying Nike shoes, Nike shirts, all kind of everything, because Colin Kaepernick made that move. Now, Marion, if Kaepernick is invited to come to the Lions to try out, would that make the Lions, the Detroit Lions, the most exciting team in the league?
I don't know. I have to see that. I like
You
Kaepernick.
have to come up here.
I like
I ain't
Kaepernick.
talking about playing good, but I'm saying
Okay.
if he came, would that make the Detroit Lions the most exciting team in the league? Yes.
Yes, right, because they took a step towards what he believed in,
You know.
and they believe in it. And they need to recruit somebody like that.
Well, see, what would happen is that the bigots and those folk
Oh,
that want
my
to try to
God,
say
yes.
that this is about something against the country, of course, they would be out there in groves. But the rest of us, the largest percentage of us, would be right in there buying a costly Detroit Lions ticket.
We'll get somebody to buy it for us.
And we'd be in the back trying to eat the popcorn and drink the cold water and the cranberry juice while the game is going on. But it would make the Detroit Lions the most exciting team in the league for a period of time, because everybody would be going, oh man, and that would be across the nation. He would light up anybody that took that step. The money that he would bring to whatever that franchise is, Marion, the millions
That they can donate to the homeless and everything.
Man, they
else.
not gonna donate.
Well, I'm
you better
saying,
stop all that.
Wait a
Stop
minute.
that
If you can
dreaming.
say that stuff, I can
You
say
know.
it too. And that is that they need to donate, and they did.
They do donate. Yeah.
Because they came over, and what's his name came over to our church and was talking
they
about,
do. They do.
So to give them some more money to donate to the homeless and get folks in a home.
They make quite a contribution to COTS every year.
I know.
But that would that's just some advice to the Detroit Lions. I don't know if they listen to WHPR, but if they did, this is the thing to think about. Caller, you're on the air. We're down to our last 7 minutes. Go.
I said the same thing. The only way I watch football or support it is if the Lions actually bring them in, because they probably need them real, real bad, because I don't know how good they doing. Every time I turn around, they losing. They
6
need
out of
him,
7 losses.
And if they do have the courage that it takes, and bring him to the Lions, that's the only way I would support, because I don't even watch football or go to football games, but I would go and I would support just because of him.
Well,
because I think he stood and did the right
Yes.
thing, and he took a chance of going through what he's going through now.
For all of
because He
us.
stood up for justice.
Yeah, that was a commitment. That was a sacrifice made for all of us. Now, he's a wealthy man, but he made that
Exactly.
sacrifice for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
he took a lead for all, and we need to at least have the decency and be
Support
appreciative
him.
to someone that had the guts to do the right thing.
Yes,
Caller,
right.
we're on your page. Thank you very much, and
yeah,
keep
I
your
love
Lions
y'all.
ticket money in your pocket, okay?
That's right.
Thank you, caller.
Well, it's
All
getting
righty.
late, Maureen.
Well, we still have 5 minutes. I know you ready to go already. We still have five
You
or
know
6
it's
minutes.
time
Yes,
for
I
me.
know. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You are on the air.
Yes, I'm glad that the city council voted against that demolition thing. You know, we
Me
pay
too.
enough
Vote it
taxes, and
down.
then they're not doing what they're supposed to do and tearing up text messages and not spending the money where it's supposed to. There's always some crooks in the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Caller, we agree with you 100%.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, I'll see y'all at the skating ring.
Yeah, okay. We'll
At the
wait
what?
for you. Okay. Goodbye.
the
what?
We'll see you at the skating rink. We'll wait for you. Okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And we'll have the ambulance out there waiting on you, too.
All right, Mary, we almost at the end, and what the point I was trying to raise is that we need more children and more young people, particularly, to get the story, get the news. I know, to get the story and get the news about Colin Kaepernick, and let's target him as not. I don't want to say target. Let's feature him as a person that we can hold up to honor because of the sacrifice that he made during Black History Month. And in February, he needs to be on that page. And so, especially some of these athletes, women and men, young boys and young girls, need to start looking up information about Colin Kaepernick, his background, his history, how he got to where he is, and why he might be thinking the way he is, and to hold up the social justice banner that he held up and being sidelined, just like Muhammad Ali.
Ali.
Yeah, he wouldn't go and kill Viet Cong men and women,
That's
and so
right.
they took 5 years out of his life in
Yes,
his
they did.
prime, but how that works. So the last thing we want to talk about, Marion, is something we found out about a week or so ago. And you want to tell it, you want me to start?
I gave you the paper.
I said you want me to tell it.
Go on, Star.
There was a young man by the name of Bob Brown, and I met Bob a couple of decades ago. Bob was the business manager of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and I've forgotten. He might have been in Massachusetts. I've forgotten where it was when I first met him, where he was living. But Bob was involved with union politics,
knew
with
his union
regular politics. He was an expert in Robert's Rules of Order. He was an organizer, and I'm saying was and holding back tears. He was a tremendous organizer, a dad, a husband, just the most wonderful guy. He was a drinker. And
And
when
a
you
smoker.
with somebody and a smoker, you went out with Bob, you were guaranteed to have a good damn time. Boy, that Bob was the life of the party. And last year, when Marion and I were out of town,
Last year?
In June of 2018, he
Oh,
was
okay.
there.
Yeah.
And he was talking then about, I got these health issues and I'm challenged by them, but I'm working through. And I remember what he said to me. A lot of people call me Mo. And he said, Mo, I'm trying to live. And what I remember most about our dear sweetheart Bob Brown is that in conventions and in meetings and whatnot, after a period of time of debate, he would say, Mr. Chairman or Miss Chairman, call the question. And nobody could say that better than Bob. Well, we lost our dear Bob a couple weeks ago. He got some very bad news, I'm sure, at his doctor's office, and was more than he could manage. And once we were told that our dear sweetheart Bob Brown had joined the ancestors, we just couldn't talk for a day or two. I can't fathom continents living in a world that Bob Brown is not in it. So we wanted to say something about how wonderful our colleague has been to at least the two of us that are on this here tonight, and how much respect and love that he commanded. So, Marion, what do you want to say about Bob
Well,
Brown?
I've been knowing Bob a long time. He and I was in the same organization for a long time, as well as both of us. I really got to know Bob because I had to go to organize Welfare Rights in New York, and Bob was there, and Bob was driving a cab. And if you want to know about the situation at that time, and cab drivers had a lot of high blood pressure, Maureen, and Bob was out there fighting for the interests of the cab drivers, which in the final analysis, you were fighting for the masses of people and stuff.
That's right.
And he invited Welfare Rights in New York to a conference that the cab drivers had where we could get to know them and they can get to know us. It was really an interesting conference. Bob was one of the hearts of it, and you could see how he really loved his members and really loved, he was out there helping to organize the homeless at one time also. He took care of his job as well as he made sure that the people were represented. I'm going to miss him. I know my
Yeah.
family's going to miss him. And he's
Yeah.
a hard person to try to replace.
Yeah. Probably won't ever be able to, 'cause,
Well-
nobody will be able to say, Mr. Chairman,
Like
call
Bob.
the question like Bob did. So as we prepare to go off the air, we're at the end of November. We're going to be able to broadcast most of December. That our money is going to get a little strange, and we're looking at some grants and some possibilities right now so that we could continue to broadcast. But we're doing everything we could do to help this station stay. This is the last black station in the metropolitan area. So we're doing all we can. So we always like to tell folks, we got some supporters and people been watching us, Marion, for years. And if you have an extra $5, if you have an extra $6, send it to the station. Just send it here because, it's been a tough year for a lot of us. And things are changing rapidly. So
Tell him you heard it here on Axe Welfare Rights.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the best we can. We got a couple of Christmas parties coming, so we're not gonna tell you about them right now because you be trying to show up 2 or 3 days early and sitting on the steps waiting for the food. So we're not gonna mention it until next week. But Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I know I'm not going anyplace else on any airplanes. We didn't tell the story. We have to tell it next time about the train that turned into a bus. So we'll tell it next time. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We will be back here next Friday, and hopefully things will be looking up, and we'll have more happy things to report than bad. Goodbye. Be safe and bundle up as best as you can. Goodbye.
Bye.